After going through a spectacular ordeal, she decided to cut ties with Jorah, leaving Daenerys minus one close partner. That night, Daenerys stood atop the pyramid, looked back, and there was Jorah gone. She reached out to touch him, but he just showed off and turned away, clearly a bit miffed at her. Keeping her two brothers locked up, what kind of dragon queen is she really? With that sneaky son of a witch always causing trouble, several Unsullied have already fallen victim, leaving Daenerys. The son of the witch belongs to a noble underground faction in Meereen. Daenerys had previously put 163 nobles up on crosses, trying way too hard to show her friendliness to the slaves. Such behavior really ticked off the nobles, so they decided to strike back. To prevent recurrence, Daenerys tightened security for the Unsullied. Chaos declined, but the root issue persists. Fortunately, Doyle was well connected and caught a witch son in a fireworks area, but no matter how many times he interrogated. Daenerys opposed the public trial, but ex-slave Missandei favoured it. She thought Daenerys was just timid. So, Missandei secretly executed the witch son, angering Daenerys. Nations have laws, families have rules. Then, Daenerys tried Missandei in public, with former slaves pleading for her, leaving Daenerys in a dilemma. After weighing the options, Daenerys issued the order. Missandei's head rolled, tensions rose instantly. They didn't get the law or management, just that Daenerys killed their brother, so they had no choice but to cover her retreat. Inexperienced politically, Daenerys was stuck in a fog where no side liked her, and the son of the witch began to take the opportunity to hunt down the although a bit weaker in combat skills than the Unsullied, the sheer numbers of the witch's offspring overwhelmed them. In no time, only a few Unsullied were left hanging on. Just then, the lucky Brienne rushed in to help, giving Grey Worm a bit of breathing room, but she's not as young as she used to be and struggled a bit in combat. When Brienne was nearly in peril, Grey Worm killed the last enemy. Sadly, she succumbed to blood loss. Daenerys gazed at Brienne's body, heartbroken. She came far to keep her promise, never imagining a valiant knight would perish beyond the battlefield. It shouldn't end in a nameless alibi mass cowards. It was time for Daenerys to go all out and save her kingdom. She grabbed heads of prominent families and took them to the dragon's lair for a scare the monkeys show, making the rest shiver. But Daenerys chose compromise over more surgery, giving the power gift back to noble leader Malak and restarting the arena. The arena, a Meereen tradition, is supported by slaves, nobles alike. Daenerys hopes it eases the tension. Meanwhile, wandering Jorah kidnapped the imp on sight. It is Daenerys' rival, and Jorah hoped to trade her for forgiveness. But Jorah didn't expect. The imp had various reasons to ally with Daenerys and cleverly chose a safe route, avoiding bandits and pirates. The safest route was through Valyria, the undisputed birthplace of House Targaryen, once the greatest city around. Unfortunately, it was now in ruins due to volcanic eruptions. Suddenly, a deafening dragon roar shattered the sky. It was the runaway dragon. The imp was seeing a dragon for the first time and was so shocked she couldn't say a word. Just then, an infected stone man jumped onto their ship, synonymous with grayscale. Touch one, and you're infected. After an intense fight, the two finally escaped. But sadly, Jorah contracted grayscale. His eyes shifted to sorrow, and the imp immediately began to campaign for herself. The two continued to twist and turn in circles. Finally, they had reached Meereen after a lengthy journey. The sight of the bloodshed and brutality that filled the arena caused her considerable discomfort, leading her to stand up and make preparations to leave. But Jorah charged out, wiping out the remaining competitors in a flash, then walked towards Daenerys. However, Daenerys simply stated, "Take her away, please." Jorah declared he brought a gift, and the imp slowly strolled out. She claimed she was the gift, leaving Daenerys baffled. Facing someone from an opposing family, Daenerys almost wanted to chop her into tiny pieces. Yet the imp insisted she was being pursued by her own family, sincerely suggesting Daenerys needed someone who understood politics. Jorah vowed to take her out. If not, the Queen's authority would vanish. The imp stepped forward, stating she's now transformed, ready to fight for Daenerys until the end, despite Jorah's past. Wholeheartedly loyal people like her are rare worldwide. Killing brings no benefit, exile her instead. Daenerys took the imp's advice. Jorah stepped out, saw his infected arm, feeling bombed. Daenerys seemed to have made a resolution, and when the arena finals began, Jorah appeared again. He exclaimed, "Let me fight for you, my queen." Daenerys gazed at Jorah, contemplating her twice-banished subject. Slowly, she raised her hands and gave a soft clap, showing her approval. The opponents now were much tougher than before. Only the elite remained, Jorah aged and struggling. Watching him fight was tense. Daenerys' heart raced. Fortunately, Jorah managed to deflect his opponent's blows one by one. Soon, only a few top contenders remained, and as Jorah started to struggle, they began to toy with him. Just as one opponent was gearing up for a brutal strike, another jumped in, instantly cranking the tension to new heights. Seeing Jorah's fatigue, the opponent grew overconfident, thinking he could put on a show. Jorah got mad, and with a death roll move, finished him off. After winning, Jorah wasn't elated. Instead, he hurled a spear at Daenerys, her personal bodyguard. It turned out a horde of sons of the witch had surrounded the arena and started a riot, plunging the scene into chaos. Malak shouted he knew an escape, but was taken out mid-sentence. Then, Jorah joined Daenerys, solemnly offering a handshake.